Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and happy Halloween. So we've been doing 10 days of Halloween videos up until Friday of this week, but then I missed uploading yesterday, so there's actually going to be 2 uploads today for Halloween. We ended up taking our dog Callie into the vet, and turns out she needs to have a bunch of stuff done. So we were dealing with that and discussing finances and all of that kind of stuff because vet bills aren't cheap, but she's our girl. She's 11 years old. She's a member of our family, and of course we're going to take care of her the best that we can. So apologies that there wasn't an upload yesterday, but I will put up 2 videos today. So there were 2 reviews that I wanted to do, this being one of them. So we're going to be reviewing Peel Back and See by Mike Thorn. Now I'm a little bit late to the game with this review. I have had this book for a while, and it was officially released on Friday, October the 29th. And Mike very kindly did reach out to me and ask if I wanted an ARC for review. And of course I said yes. So like I said in my TBR, this is the 3rd book that I've read by this author this year and the 2nd short story collection. And I said then as well that Mike Thorn really does thrive in writing short stories. I did enjoy his novel, but his short story collections are really where it's at, and this one definitely didn't disappoint. So it's going to be a little bit hard to review this book because it kind of veers into sort of weird fiction, I would say weird horror a little bit, but I'm gonna try my best. So talking about Mike Thorn's writing style, first and foremost, I love this author's writing style. He just really has a knack of not only making you sink into the book, so the flow and the pacing and everything of the stories are really good, but for some reason he has this knack of really capturing your attention, pulling you into the story, and you really feel for these characters. So Mike Thorn writes sort of flawed, delinquent kind of characters really well. People who have a little bit of darkness in them, or delinquent teenagers, that sort of thing. He does a fantastic job writing those sorts of characters. And this book really delves into those sorts of stories. So very much the common theme running through these stories are people, like I said, who are flawed, have a little bit of darkness to them, and there are reasons why they are the way they are. And this book is very aptly named Peel Back and See, because you're introduced to these characters where you're seeing them just on the surface, and you're kind of wondering why it is they are the way they are, and then it kind of goes into the story and you're really peeling back and seeing what's underneath all of these characters and why they do the things they do. And very much all of these people have a real darkness in them in some way, and that is usually tied to some sort of addiction, trauma, mental illness, and there are other things too that I don't even want to give it away, because there was one story in here that it really hit me in the back of the throat because it just totally disturbed me. I was so disturbed. And it's funny because when you think back on the story, I think it's called Smoke the Bone is the name of the story. And when you think back on the story, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I shouldn't have been that scared. But the way that Mike Thorn presents the story, the way he describes things, I was totally freaked out. I was completely grossed out. And like I said, it was hitting me right in the back of my gag reflex. And so he's very good at writing those sorts of stories. There was one in the last collection that was called Hair, and this guy had sort of an obsession with eating hair, and it's very much the same thing with some of these stories as well. But I have to say that there's a wide range of just about everything in here. So people that are into kind of the weird sort of horror, people that really enjoy understanding characters that are very deep. There's stories in here that are sort of unassuming, but then when you read them, like, you're just sucked into them. And so that all comes down to the talent of this author. I love his writing style. I love the stories. And of course, I love the fact that he is a fellow Canadian. And of course, I want to support Canadian indie authors on the channel as much as possible. So like I said, if you really enjoy learning about characters who are multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and you really peel back and see what's inside these people and what they're going through, the things that they've experienced in their lifetimes that are typically, like I said, they have to do with mental illness, addictions, those sorts of things. If you like that sort of darkness, I really think this collection would be for you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one 4 stars. I totally gobbled this book up. I didn't want to give too much away, but please go out and pick up this book if you really love learning about multi-dimensional characters. It's very good. And of course, I'm really looking forward to reading more books by Mike Thorn. I'm excited to see how this author is going to grow over time, because he already has such a talent, and I really enjoy reading his books. So that's my review of Peel Back and See by Mike Thorn. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and leave me a question or a comment down below, because you know I love chatting with you guys. Happy Halloween and blessed Samhain. Bye everybody.